Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Romella Markarian. I'm the chair of Commission on the Status of Women, and I'd like to call this meeting in order at 4:33 p.m. Welcome to the Commission meeting of December 8, 2025. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Khojayan, Commissioner Lambalat,
Here.
Vice Chair Aro, Commissioner Samarajian, Chair Markarian.
Here. May we have the report on the posting of the agenda, please?
The agenda for the regular meeting of the Commission on the Status of Women, agenda for December 8th, 2025, was posted on December 3rd, 2025 on the bulletin board outside of City Hall.
Thank you. Item 3, introduction and presentations. Do we have any presentations?
Yes, we do, Chair Markarian. We'd like to invite Lilit Shakarian, family life educator, to the podium as she's on the agenda tonight to make a presentation on service gaps on domestic violence response.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, commissioners. Thank you for being here today, and thank you for the chance giving to me to make a presentation over the domestic violence issue. So, since domestic violence is not just a private issue happening behind closed doors, it's a community issue, one that affects the safety, well-being, and future of every neighbor in all of this in our city. And being as a researcher and family life specialist, I have spent years studying the patterns, causes, and the long-term consequences of domestic violence, starting from Armenia and then continuing back here in the United States. And today I would like to speak about the 3 main points of the domestic violence issue, about the understanding of the reality of the domestic violence, the supporting victims compassionately, and building a community that prevents violence. So starting from the understanding of the reality, we can say that violence is the issue that happens to anyone, could happen to anyone regardless of age, gender, background, or financial situation. It thrives in silence, and when a survivor feels unseen or unheard, the abuse continues, and when a community dismisses the signs or feels it's not their businesses, the cycle grows stronger, and recognizing this reality is the first step. So, IPV, or intimate partner violence, commonly referred as a domestic violence, it involves aggressive behaviors or traits of violence directed at an intimate partner. When we look at the early theories, it's mostly explained the causes of IPVs from one singular factor, but decades later, it's attributed mostly to be a community issue and not just an individual issue. So whenever we come to LA and try to understand what's going on the domestic violence path in the Los Angeles County, and we look at the statistics, we see that despite the federal support and legislative changes aimed at combating domestic violence, Los Angeles County continues to face significant and complex challenges in preventing domestic violence issue. In 2023, the county recorded 37,816 calls for assistance relating to domestic violence. And according to 2023 Country Health Survey, approximately 15.3% of women in the county have experienced physical or sexual violence from an intimate partner. And given the LA's enormous geographic, demographic, and socioeconomic diversity, ranging from dense urban centers to suburban and semi-rural areas, and encompassing communities with differing cycle levels, immigrant backgrounds, and services success, creating a unified response to domestic violence is especially difficult. So the methodology, one size fits all, will be insufficient here, and much more inclusive approach or methodology is needed to overcome this issue. So, and even though we have the services 24/7, like countywide hotline and multiple agencies, like offering shelters and counseling and crisis intervention, the demand continues to outpace available resources. And the imbalance highlights the urgent need for enhanced support, infrastructure, improved coordination among service providers, and comprehensive training programs for advocates and community stakeholders to effectively address the needs of survivors across the neighborhoods in LA County. So, and the final inconsistency is in definition of the domestic violence issue itself in California, since different county departments and county agencies use different kind of definitions and which creates barriers to accurate data collection or coordination or policy development. So the development of the standardized definition of domestic violence, one that will recognize both physical and coercive control, would provide a powerful first step towards a shared understanding of domestic violence issue. So when we come to the supporting of the victims compassionately, we can say that for the many victims, reaching out to the help system is the most difficult and vulnerable step, because they often remain silent and shame, economic dependence, or cultural stigma, or concerns about their safety. That's why there should be to these persons, the reality should be compassionate, trauma-informed, and culturally responsive, as well as we should provide professional response grounded in consistent, standardized training developed to equip service providers with essential knowledge needed to support survivors effectively, starting from domestic violence identification methods, going to client services, safety planning, law enforcement role, to referrals or resources, or client confidentiality, employment protections, and long-term impacts of domestic violence. So the critical component here should be the addressing the implicit and explicit bias, first of all, because starting from the language we use when we're dealing with the domestic violence issue, it's most important, and ending how we made the protection plan or safety plan. We should consider all of the types of the persons, all of the nationalities and cultural uniqueness as well. And and maintaining the prevalence of domestic violence and its detrimental impact on communities across the United States. It has established diverse services, including educational training for advocates to support the domestic violence survivors and their families. However, the absence of standardized evidence-based training that tends to support survivors and their families has become a major concern. And the development of the standardized and uniform domestic violence advocacy programs can be beneficial for the several constituents, and it can help grantors as well to allocate limited funding in ways they are confident and they will lead to success, and assist policymakers in designing local, state, and federal policies that are most likely to reduce domestic violence and assist survivors while maintaining quality assurance, promoting professionalism, facilitating collaboration, ensuring legal and ethical compliances. And whenever we come to the community to see what kind of community we need to build to overcome domestic violence issues, or just to prevent or to decrease its spreadness, we can say that the prevention of the domestic violence begins long before the abuse itself takes place or occurs. It begins with education, it begins with awareness and building a culture that refuses to tolerate harm. So when we teach children about respect, consent, empathy, and emotional regulation, we lay the groundwork for healthier relationships. When we promote community cohesion and support families in crises, we reduce the conditions that enable violence to flourish. And prevention means investing in schools, in community programs, outreach efforts, and culturally grounded intervention. Domestic violence is a severe and pervasive legal and social problem with destructive physical and psychological and economic consequences. So statistics reveals that over 1 in 4 women and 1 in 9 men in the United States have experienced physical assault, sexual assault, or stalking perpetrated by an intimate partner. And to address this crisis, we must move beyond fragmented responses and build coordinated, evidence-based, survivor-centered system. Together as professionals, community members, and neighbors, we can create an environment where survivors will support it, families find safety, and future generations grow up in communities that reject violence in all its form. And today, I just want to point out the main gaps which is existing in domestic violence regarding domestic violence issues. Here, the first one is the missing of the standardized definition of the term domestic violence and the lack of uniformity across the agencies. The second one is the issue of the data collection and centralization, because since the separate agencies, they do their private researches on this issue and collect the data, but there is a absence of the centralized data which will be accessible to all of the agencies or departments which are dealing with the domestic violence issues. And creating this kind of thing will be very meaningful, and centralizing the information and platforms and meetings will lead to the future, will help in future to make appropriate changes in the policy or in a support system which is going to develop. And the next one is to develop a cross-disciplinary training. The training which will prepare all of the agencies who are dealing with the domestic violence to handle with this issue with the same methodology, with the same things, and be aware about all of the things such as implicit and explicit biases, sensitive languages, and how to, like all of the things, starting from the how to identify that we are dealing with the issue of domestic violence and ending up how to make a referral to any resources for that persons. So just in closing, I want to say that these gaps continue to hinder an effective response to domestic violence, and I want to express my strong commitment to contribute to meaningful or evidence-informed solutions. And as a researcher, I'm eager and I will be passionate as well to join to any program which women's commissioners or committee will design or will thinking to implement in future to support and to support this domestic violence issue. To critically examine existing practices to strengthen institutional responses and or to advance improvements that can reduce and prevent domestic violence in all our communities.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Lilith. I just have a few questions, but before that, anyone has any comments? Thank you for all you do, and you brought up a few good points of gaps, collaboration with agencies. What agencies do you guys collaborate with? Do you see opportunities that we can identify currently?
Okay, thank you. So my research was based mainly in Nevada County. I implemented my research there, and coming here to LA, since I'm living in Glendale, I was studying there, but after finishing, I moved here to Glendale, and I want to do the same things I have implemented there to here for LA County. And I was thinking about the collaboration of all of the agencies which are dealing first with the domestic violence, second, which are protecting the children's and youth rights, because we know that domestic violence have its impact and influence on the youth and children, and it has very heavy circumstances on their development, starting from mental health to better situations, at least to the because there are a lot of homicides and suicides on all of this base, and that's why the collaboration of these agencies, like the shelters or the other agencies who are dealing with domestic violence issues and protecting the children's rights, I think that it will be much more better for them to centralize their data and their policies and all of the things they are doing. And even they could involve law enforcement and for sure the persons who who became a survivors of the domestic violence issue. So gathering all of this parties will allow to create a more evidence-based, more standardized definition to the issue, and then a program which will help us to use to fight, to protect first of all, to protect the rights of the vulnerable people, and second, to who is already in this issue, their rights as well, or the programs which will prevent to those who are already, who became
Affected.
affected by the domestic violence issue, yes. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the work that you've done. My question is, what is actually your ask of this commission? I don't think I'm clear on that, because the information that you shared here, the numbers and the percentages, the data, statistics, is for LA County. So how's that affecting Glendale?
So the data I found only is just for the LA County, and Glendale is a part of it. And being the city which has a lot of immigrants here, and not only, so I believe that it's included Glendale as well. But I think that we'll have the same situation here as well. I take your point but I don't have a statistics that exactly on Glendale, but I know that here as well there isn't any centralized database on domestic violence that you can, like, for example, if you want to find something, the programs or the initiatives on a domestic violence issue or training, which is the standardized and for all of the agencies, I can't find it as well, and the only thing I can find is like specific agencies making their own researches or having their own base, or just the numbers from the hotline services. That's it. But we don't have the percentage of the persons who are not speaking about the violence issues, I think that this is the issue that we can say that it's the issue which is concerning only the LA County. It's the issue that is concerning to all of us, and it's not importantly to be in a way that just a physical abuse. You know, that it could be an economic abuse. It could involve coercive abuse as well, like kind of things. And I was thinking that strengthening our community from ahead, like preparing our women and children before ahead, we will prevent for future domestic violence affections and spread in our city. Whenever you teach, you are trying from the beginning, starting from even from schools and from other parties, and prepare the children and the youth to be to know that this kind of issues exist and that what is correct and what is not. We will prevent the future. We will decrease the amount of domestic violence within our city as well. I don't think that I believe that Glendale City is not an exclusion from a domestic violence because it's a part of the county.
I understand that. I'm still not clear in terms of your actual ask of this commission. And are you doing the same with other city commissions? Are you going to other cities?
No,
and
this is my first.
pitching your
Yeah, this is the first experience I have, and I was thinking about the to create a kind of standardized evidence-based training for all of the agencies who are dealing with the domestic violence issue, and to try to bring the experience I have for the Nevada County, because there we created this evidence-based training for all of the agencies, and we started the training of trainers. Involving all of the agencies in this process. So I think that first of all, I was thinking to start from this training, preparation of this training, which will involve all of the like how to deal gently and sensitively with the domestic violence issue, what kind of methods to use to correctly identify that, starting from the law enforcement, like from police, for example, and then what kind of prototypes to use for preparing the safety plans, assessment, and their protection, and to the end, from the beginning back to the end. But I was thinking about my investment here, my knowledge and my background, my research, to prepare this evidence-based standardized training for which all of the agencies could use. But for that, I need the help because I can't create it like as an individual. I need the support of the community and the commission as well to prepare the training, to present it, and have your award on this as well. And not only the what. If the commission is thinking about the program, to have a future program regarding domestic violence issue, I will appreciate to become a part of that and to create this standardized training. I think that's I see my point. I see my role from starting here, the definition and then the standardized evidence-based training for the agencies.
Thank you.
Again, thank you. Nice to see you, Lilith.
Thank you.
I think you've answered the questions I had, and I just want to make a comment that if you review, and you can find it online, this commission's report on the status of women and girls 2022-2023, and the supplement on Armenian women, I think you'll find statistics on domestic violence, and they're separated out from the county. So you should have more information.
Yeah.
Based on that.
Thank you. And perhaps, staff can provide you some of the resources, some of the agencies that work closely with us on domestic violence issues. Maybe you can reach out to them and see what policies, procedures, what are their training process. I think that may be helpful to you and you as well to them.
Yeah, I will appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the presentation. All right, we're going to move forward to oral communications. Do we have any cards or speakers here or online?
Chair Markarian, we don't have any speaker cards that have been submitted, and we don't have anyone waiting online.
All right. Moving along to consent items, I think we need an approval for minutes of the regular commission meeting, which was held November 10th, 2025. So we need a motion for that, correct?
That's correct.
Motion to approve the minutes of the meeting held on November 10th, 2025.
And I'll second it.
Thank you. So approved.
Can we take a roll call, Chair?
Yes, roll call, please.
Thank you. Commissioner Khojayan is absent. Commissioner Samardzian is absent. Commissioner Lambalot,
Yes.
Vice Chair Aram,
Yes.
Chair Markarian.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, next item, 6, we have ABC. I think we're going to start with C, item C. 6C, appointment of ex officio student commissioners to the Commission on the Status of Women. And I'll turn it over to Commissioner Lambalot. So she worked very hard on identifying, selecting, and presenting the 2 candidates we have in front of us today. So
Thank you. And we have to also thank Dominica, who spent a lot of time on this, sending out applications, notifying people that they were available, sitting in and on the interviews, and contacting people before and after. So thank you for that. Very, very much appreciated. I'd just like to say that we had, I believe it was 15 applications, which is a good number for the commission, actually. I think we've got a higher profile than in the past. And we interviewed 8 young women, and across the board, they were amazing, astounding women. But we did choose Leona and Emma for a variety of reasons. They just are remarkable young women. They're enthusiastic about the commission, and importantly to me, they both had ideas for how to contribute to the commission. And so that was really valuable. And so we'll look forward to working with you on that. And I'm assuming they'll come up shortly.
do we need to do a roll call to have them, right?
Yes,
If you
Chair,
want
we'd like to ask for your motion and second on the appointment of the 2 student ex officio members. And then we'll take your roll call, and then we'll ask them to come up to the podium before they take their seat.
Thank you. So we make a motion.
I'll go ahead and move to have the student ex officios approved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Lambalot,
Yes.
Vice Chair Aram,
Yes.
Chair Markarian.
Yes.
Thank you. At this time, would you like to invite the
Yes.
student ex
Well,
officios up to
Leona
the
and-
podium?
Yeah, Leona and Emma, welcome.
Ladies, I'd like to invite you to go ahead and select your seats up on the podium, and you can go ahead and address everyone from the dais if you'd like.
Thank you.
So would you like to share a few words about yourself? Then
Is this working? Okay. Hi, my name is Leona Kachaturian. I'm in 11th grade and I attend Hoover High School. I'm excited to be a part of this commission. I'm really grateful to have this opportunity. I'm very involved with girls, especially in our community. I've been a Girl Scout for almost 12 years, since kindergarten. And I'm the president and founder of the Career Explorers Club at my high school, where we bring lots of different professionals to come speak to the students at our school about their career paths in order to get the students more interested and exposed to different paths. And I love bringing women speakers so they can encourage the population at our school to go after their dreams and various professions. Thank you.
thank you. And which high school do you go to?
I go to Hoover High School.
Great, great. Thank you. And Emma?
Okay. Hello, my name is Emma Park. I'm in 11th grade. I attend Crescenta Valley High School, and I'm so excited to be a part of this commission and implement my ideas that I have.
Wonderful. Welcome aboard. And I'm sure,
Welcome.
yeah, this will be great. We would like your advocacy. We would like your feedback. I think we need to hear the perspective of young girls, young women, and whatever we can do to support your ideas. We're all ears, and we're here to hear and listen and support that. Thank you. All right, so moving along, we'll go back to action item 6A, and I'll have Dominic.
Thank you, Chair Markarian. Item 6A in front of you is a consideration of a request that staff has received from Anahid Yachian for a request of a filming permit fee subsidy for the production of a short film, Nellie. Ms. Yachian is in the audience tonight. If you recall, she was before you at the last commission meeting, and she is available for any questions. She also has a presentation prepared if you'd like to see it. But the floor is yours. Staff's available for any questions.
Thank you. Do we have any questions? Would you like to see the presentation? I know we were given a packet.
Was the presentation what we saw before?
No, there's a slide deck that's additional to the item that is provided within the agenda packet. The agenda packet, I think, included the proposal and information about the film. I believe that the filming actually took place this last weekend, and so the filmmaker has some updates to share with the commission for your consideration if you'd like.
Sure. I mean, I'm okay too. If everyone's good, we can have your presentation, yeah.
Thank you. Hello again. It's wonderful to see you, and congratulations to the new members on the dais. So I am happy to report that we shot Nellie, the short film that I wrote and directed, capturing a group of women dealing with a domestic violence incident just this past weekend here in Glendale. We were able to work with the city and with Film LA, which is the agency that manages the film permitting process, to get permitted to shoot the film. We were able to lower the cost a little bit, and I want to kind of run you through how the weekend went for a minute or two, and then show you where the final numbers are. So, Dominica, if you don't mind, just as a refresher, Nellie is a 9, maybe 10-minute short film, depends how the edit goes, capturing one night in the lives of 3 women who are dealing in different ways with a domestic violence incident. Next slide, please. We had a crew of almost 30 people who came together, many of them women, like myself and my director of photography, who worked tirelessly for these 3 nights to shoot this film. Because it takes place at night, we had to shoot everything overnight. Not only did we have women on our crew, we had a lot of first-generation Americans, and other marginalized populations are represented as well, which is a huge priority for me. Next slide. As I mentioned, we shot it this past Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, not far from here. And we had a cast of great young people, some of whom are local to the area, some of whom came from near and far to participate. Here they are. And I'd like to share with you some production stills, which you can just freely flip through to see some images of how the film came together. It captures 2 friends who encounter this incident in the street. They decide to intervene, and in that process, they have to face this stranger that they've just taken into one of their homes and whose story they don't quite know yet. So the film presents a lot of complicated power dynamics, but ultimately is a tribute to women sticking up for each other. It was an incredible experience to shoot this project, to bring together so many different people from different walks of life, some of whom shared with me that they themselves were survivors in my crew and in my cast. And I think that our process, this creative process, was a healing one. It was really powerful. So next I want to show you where we landed on permitting costs, as I mentioned, and I actually brought a printout here. forgot to hand it to you. The cost of filming this was profound. A short film has a very small budget. This is a completely independently financed project. So if you take a look at this slide, you can see that the Glendale permitting fees alone to capture that moment on the sidewalk and that moment in the street that you saw in the still images ended up costing us a little over $6,000. The grand total of the permitting cost, including Film LA fees, brought us to $7,200. So on a project of this scale, that is a huge chunk of money that takes a big bite out of the budget that could go toward other vital resources. Now, I will say that it was wonderful to have Officer Jeff Rivas with us, keeping us safe during our shoot because we were filming in the street at night. And it was actually a pretty busy Saturday night with a lot of vehicle traffic going. So it's not that we didn't want the support, it's that it was really hard to afford that support. And I think that these types of costs are a huge deterrent toward artists of all kinds stepping up to tell powerful stories, especially around social justice issues. Those tend to be the artists who have the fewest resources to begin with. But we need artists to tell these stories in order to reach the masses. So I think films like Nelly are vital. They need to continue being made. And I'm here to see if the commission would be interested in co-sponsoring or sponsoring the project, joining the team of producers, and alleviating some of this burden that we took on because we didn't want to not tell the story.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great work. I believe that these stories needs to be shared, and I do want to know how would you be sharing the story, the 9 minutes film? What are your plans in outreach and presenting the films? And but I also have a question about the foundation you mentioned, the Gulbenkian Foundation.
Yes.
Are there any support from their end, or what is their role in this?
So the Carlos Gulbenkian Foundation, based in Lisbon, Portugal, provided the initial seed funding for this project. So out of its budget, $10,000 was given from this foundation because they have a vested interest in art that foregrounds the use of Armenian, specifically Western Armenian. So in my film, Western Armenian is spoken, which is very rarely ever a thing in any type of cinema in the US, in the world, or in Armenia. So that was our base. And based on that, I've been able to fundraise more money through executive producers, feminists themselves, activists themselves, and I've put in my own resources as well. As for the exhibition of the film, the edit will start immediately. It will be submitted to film festivals. My previous project that I made, which is about my experience of becoming a mom, will be premiering at a festival in Rotterdam in the Netherlands in January, which hopefully will act as a stepping stone for Nelly as well in the next festival cycle. And after what I hope to be a successful festival run of the film playing globally, much like I hope the same for this current project, then I would move forward toward a self-distribution model, unless it gets picked up by a platform. And that self-distribution model involves partnering with community-based organizations, educational institutions, local theaters, programmers to make sure that the film gets shown and also is paired with discussions with the audience. So we call these impact screenings, where you share your work and you invite the audience to take action together, basically, on the subject of your film. So that would extend the life of the film beyond just putting it up on a YouTube or Vimeo to be found and seen, which certainly is also a wonderful way to self-distribute. But I love to do this with my other work, and it means that it can be watched and spark discussions limitlessly in really vital spaces, like especially schools and universities.
Thank you. Commissioners, any comments?
Yes. First of all, I watched the director's 2-minute reel on your website that's mentioned in the packet, and I mean, your work is beautiful and fantastic and so professional. And what a wide range of subjects, too.
Thank you.
And I also applaud you for your work in this area, and it sounds like you are extremely organized, have a lot of specific plans, how to get things done, and that sort of thing.
Thank you.
And as far as supporting it, I'm in favor of some financial support.
Sure.
However,
Any amount would be great.
okay. However, I know that you're requesting co-sponsoring the film project by subsidizing the film permit costs. I know that are now $7,200. The problem I have with the word sponsoring is we haven't actually seen the film and the content, and I'm 100% sure that it's what's needed and accurate and everything, but I would be hesitant to actually sponsor something if we haven't actually seen the content. But again, I'm in favor of contributing toward what you've done. And perhaps, last year we did a screening of a domestic violence film called And So She Stayed, I believe it was called. And then we had a panel discussion afterwards. So I think that's also a potential in the future. And I'm not saying you shouldn't come back once it's screened, but that's my position on it. So those are my comments.
Yeah, this is the tricky thing about film.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I would be happy to share more about the project offline with you. The script is very representative of what the film is like, and the stills, I think, make more sense once you've read the script as well. But for now, I know I've only shared a basic summary of what the project is about. But yeah, filmmaking is one of those things where we kind of hope people can imagine it if we describe it well enough.
Could I also ask Dominica what our bank balance is at this point? We have not been able to do fundraising for like 10 years. Now we have the opportunity to again, but where it stands now?
Yes, Commissioner Lambalot, I actually had mentioned at our last month's meeting that I was going to bring financials to you. And then as I started working on it and worked with our budget folks, they said some of this is with an asterisk. So the numbers I'm seeing might change because they're still going through their year-end accounting. But the number I'm seeing in our account is $175,000 and change, which sounds high to me. And so I don't know if that's reliable.
Extremely
based
high.
on-
It's been more, I was going to say it's probably around 70 or 75,000.
Okay. Yeah. The total is showing up as 175 on the report that I had them run for me. There is another number there, 76,412 might be the more reliable number.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to bring that back to the commission once they've closed out their closeout for our books.
Thank you. That'd be great. Commissioner Aram, do you have any comments, questions?
My only comment is that, to me, this is a personal project of yours. And, as commissioners, we have a responsibility to take careful consideration when it comes to individuals, organizations that come in front of this commission and ask for assistance. For that, not that I don't appreciate what you have done, and I think it's a great way to tell a story and to get a point across through film and through art. However, there might be other sources that would be more suitable and more appropriate to fund such projects. And for that reason, as much as I appreciate what you have done, I feel an obligation to this city and to this commission to not be so much in favor of extending any financial support.
Thank you. I mean, as the commissioners mentioned, I mean, this absolutely is a great project. It's educational. It's something that we would like to raise awareness about, and we do obviously a lot of awareness events, making sure that domestic violence is front and center for this commission as well. But I agree with Commissioner Lamblot that we need to see, at least have a little bit more idea what the film is, the way it's done, how it is, before we extend any financial support. And I think the 7,200 is a little, for us, it probably won't be within the budget that we would consider. However, I think we can consider it after film is complete, maybe, if that's possible. Or does it need to be an action item today?
Well, you can take action to postpone it to a later time when you've had an opportunity to fully
Right,
view
and
it.
also know our exact balance. I think that's also important to know. And what percentage of our balance is being dedicated to domestic violence? Because we have other projects or so many great, causes that we support in this commission. So I want to make sure that we're not just focusing on domestic violence and spending a large percentage on that. But, we're kind of being very fair in distributing our funds to every project throughout the year. So if that's okay, we can probably, do a motion on postponing, if everybody is okay with that.
I don't think you need a motion. You don't have to take action at this time, but staff can continue to be in touch with the director to obtain additional information that is in line with the direction that you've provided. And then if at that point there's additional action that can be taken, given your comments, then we'll put it back on the agenda, working with you to do that.
Thank you. And what is your timeline in completing this entire filming?
That's a really great question. Part of the challenge of filmmaking is that if you don't have resources, you can't guarantee a timeline. So my goal is to edit it within the next month, but to do it, I need to gather resources, much of which went to the production. And I see what your point is completely, Commissioner Aram. I want to stress that while personally I'm very invested in this project, I'm not making it for myself. I'm making it for everyone else to see. And I think investing in the arts as a vehicle for social justice really expands the reach of the efforts that commissions like yours work so tirelessly to put forward. So I understand your position. I respect it. In my case, I would hope to have an edit in the next month. Is it going to be completely finalized with sound, music, etc.? Perhaps not, because each of those things requires compensating the other artists that need to work tirelessly to make the work, so that it's presented in the right way, because it's a sensitive subject. It's not something that you can just willy-nilly film on a phone. So that's my hopeful timeline, but I wouldn't want to guarantee it.
I have one more question.
Sure.
You mentioned arts. Have you been in front of other commissions within the city of Glendale?
So I was thinking to present to the Arts Commission. I spoke with Jennifer Fukutomi Jones, and she recommended that they would be more likely to co-sponsor an exhibition of the film when it's completed. So we put a pause, and so I would reapproach, or I chose to approach the commission at a later date based on their recommendation.
And where did you get the idea of approaching this commission for your film production?
I have an awareness of your commission, that you exist. I receive city communications. I've signed up for every possible newsletter. I have a small child. We love to participate in all kinds of city-sponsored activities. So perhaps I know it's my first time introducing myself to you all, but I definitely have I think a much higher awareness of what's happening in the city than the average citizen. Because I try to keep up and participate as much as I can.
Excellent.
And motherhood is one of the ways that I got involved.
Great. Thank you very much.
And I just wanted to make one final comment and just repeat what I said about, aside from the financial aspects, I would urge you to come back to the commission at some point when it's complete and see if there's a potential for collaboration like we've done in the past.
Certainly, yes. Your commission is an example of an institution or organization that I would want to partner with a project like this in order to organize impact screenings and facilitate discussions, that's for sure.
Well, best of luck. Like I said, you've really got it together. That's very clear.
Thank
So,
you. Thank you for your
Thank
consideration.
you very much.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Next item, 6B. I think we have YWCA here of Glendale and Pasadena.
Good evening.
Yes, thank you, Chair Markarian. The item before you, 6B, is a consideration of a sponsorship request from the YWCA of Glendale and Pasadena in an amount not to exceed $10,000 for the sponsorship of the organization's 100th centennial anniversary year. And we have Deborah Suh, CEO of the YWCA here with us tonight.
Good evening. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate you hearing me out. YWCA will be celebrating 100-year anniversary next year. It's a milestone year. And one of the things that we really appreciate is your partnership to really empower women and girls. I mean, that is one of our missions. Our mission is to empower women and girls and to eliminate racism. But really, the cornerstone of our programming has been really in addressing gender violence and really empowering our women and girls to live their full lives. And we've been doing that since the inception, whether it was through making sure that women who were not allowed to spaces like YMCA to have their own space for recreation, for women who wanted to, during World War II, to come in and work in the factories. They didn't have places to stay. For a very long time, women were not allowed to travel and stay, in hotels or places without male chaperones. So YWCA served that purpose of providing that housing for women who wanted to travel or wanted to work in the city. And then starting in the 70s, we started providing a lot of social services, from childcare to rape and domestic violence response to workforce development, really providing social services that women needed at the time. So we've been, over time, really evolving and being what our women and girls needed at the moment. And right now, I'm seeing more than ever the need to really galvanize women and girls to stand up for our rights and to be able to really ensure that our rights are not taken and that we are really supporting each other to be empowered in this environment is super important, and to model that for our girls. So with this milestone year, we want to really put ourselves together as partners out there. We want to have more visible events, to engage our city, to have larger outreach and education campaigns, and to grow our programs. So a lot of the things that we have listed that we want to do are new or larger. So from engaging teens during Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month in February. We have been engaging mostly in Pasadena because our youth program really stems from the Pasadena side of YWCA. But as we celebrate Glendale's 100 years, we want to really ensure that they are in all of our middle and high schools. And we want to also go after some of the private schools in Glendale that we haven't had opportunities to engage. And that's where we're hoping that we can partner together, that we can help each other become visible, more visible together in Glendale next year. In Pasadena, we are in Sequoia, we are in Westridge, we are in all these private schools, but we are not in any of the private schools in Glendale. So we would love to explore different ways, partly especially if they are catering to specific communities. That would be a really interesting way to engage communities through the children. We have ways that I would love to work with the student commissioners to figure out what are some ways that we can engage young people better and really engage with our youth in ways that really resonate with them. I think I'm told to know how best to engage with your peers, so would love to figure out how we can do that. We have been primarily working with middle school students, but we want to start a youth leadership program next year and engage high school students to mentor middle school kids and also to really start a youth board. So excited to start a lot of new initiatives with young women and to help. And where we need your help is not only in really helping us build the resources, but helping us get the message out, to help us open doors, just like you did with the fire department. I thought it was a great opportunity for all of us to collaborate together and bring in institutions and agencies in the city, organizations in the city, to really pay attention to gender violence, to pay attention to gender equity. So in ways that if we spoke alone, wouldn't have that weight. So would love to figure out ways that we can partner together throughout all of next year to look at ways that we can be more effective together and really highlight both of our work, because it's so aligned in empowering women and girls. So if we can figure out ways to engage the community and have more visible events, have larger engagement, have more larger outreach and education engagement, that would be lovely. And as I was hearing, what the speakers before me came forward, and a lot of it really resonate with me. I mean, I think we need to, YWCA has to do a better job of letting folks know we run the 40-hour training in the community. Would love your help in figuring out how to get that message out better. I was sitting here thinking, we are part of this pilot for LA County to collaborate all of the hotline through Care Connect. It's a new program that's being launched in a pilot project in January, and we're part of the 10 organizations that are launching it together. But once that is solidified, starting July 1, it'll be mandated to all of the county DV programs to participate if they're getting county funding. So that's 19 shelter organizations, plus all the other organizations that are getting, like something like 20, 30 organizations on top who are also getting domestic violence funding that will be joining this Care Connect program. So all of that would be really interesting way to leverage existing resources to do more work in Glendale. I can't think of any other organizations besides us getting county domestic violence funding, but we should change that. We should figure out how they can be connected to Care Connect. So things like that. I would love to work with you in partnership to figure out how do we bring in more resources to Glendale? And how do we get the word out so that people know where to find the trainings and be able to get the trainings and the resources that they need. So those are some of the things. And you've already supported this year Camp Rosie and Purple Tie Award. That's something that we're going to hopefully repeat, and would love more engagement from you, both in terms of if you would be willing to have our young girls participating in Camp Rosie to visit a commission meeting. We can do a field trip to come and see a session, to maybe one of the commissioners would like to host a field trip to your office, or you would like to come and talk to the girls during the camp. Would love to explore all of the above and how we can be more engaged together.
Thank you very much, Deborah, and you guys are doing a great job. I agree, we probably need stronger collaboration. Centennial is a great opportunity for us to, that's a big milestone. We need to look at some of the programs. I know you have a vision for bigger, better outreach for Special 2026. That year it's probably going to be very impactful. So I'm looking forward to support and collaborate. And as far as the sponsorship, again, we need to check our budget and make sure, I mean, this is a big request, the $10,000, and we need to really see where we are and what projects. Is there going to be new programs you're developing? What is your vision? Except the 2 projects we do together, what are other initiatives that we may launch, and how would we spend some of the resources
Sure.
that you're requesting?
So one of the things we're doing is a StoryCorps project with the Glendale Library, where the library folks will be filming and recording stories about YWCA over the 100 years. We're also going to be putting forward an exhibit at the library of the different thing of YWCA over the years. So it will be an interesting kind of historical piece that we want to celebrate the last 100 years. And yes, it is a big ask, but we only turn 100 once every 100 years. So we won't be coming back next year saying 101. So it is a big ask, but we are hoping that this will help us put in the infrastructure that we need to be able to really make a larger footprint in the city and to be more of a resource to the community. So celebrating our last 100 years is one. And then going forward, we are doing several new things. One is exploring how does aging in place look like? How does healthy aging look like for women in Glendale? So we are doing a lot of phone, in-person, and virtual interviews with some of the aging population in Glendale to see like what programs would help them to, for them to age in place, or, you know, I don't think anyone wants to go into assisted living willingly, so it's kind of last resort. So we are looking at how do we keep them healthy and in place? What kind of support do they need? What kind of programming would they like? So we're doing some assessment with aging women in Glendale. So that would be one intergenerational healthy living program that we are researching, that we want to launch in the second half of the year. We're doing the needs assessment in the first quarter. We're also looking at, in addition to working with the aging population, we want to go younger. So we want to look at how do we have a pretty thriving middle school program, but as they're aging out, there wasn't something for them going forward. So we want to kind of bring back some of the girls who went through our Camp Rosie program and asking, like, do you want to be part of a youth leadership program? Do you want to mentor some of the girls coming up the ranks? And also, how do we keep them engaged to support one another? Like, one of the biggest things that we hear back from Camp Rosie is girls really feeling like they belong. And that's so important when you're growing up these days in this age of like really being disconnected, to really have real life people engage with you and be connected to you. So we're looking at what would our youth program, kind of the expanded leadership program look like, and how do we help our girls be empowered?
Thank you. Commissioners Aram and Lamblat, if you have comments, questions.
Well, Deborah, you know how I feel about YWCA, right? I think you guys are doing a marvelous job. One thing you said kind of piqued my curiosity about this aging program. I can't help but think that there are other organizations, you know, healthcare related, that could be very much focused on that subject matter. So, you know, why YWCA? Why would I answer questions from YWCA?
Sure.
And why are you spending your resources in that arena where there could be other organizations already doing the same? That's just my assumption. I may be incorrect. So, you know, those are the questions that go through my head. And to tag on to what Chair Markarian said about our resources and our budget, we really have to be diligent, and we have to really look at these numbers carefully. And then understand, you know, what it is that we can actually afford. 10,000 is a huge ask. But I admire your personal tenacity, your projects, and what you're doing for the community, of course. But I still have a lot of questions about, you know, all the programs that you offer and what goes in order to support those programs and what other resources you have access to and so forth. So, you know, those are just my thoughts that I wanted to bring up, and perhaps at a later date we can discuss it more in detail so that I have a better understanding. And I think we all kind of need to understand in terms of the finances and, you know, what areas do they really make the greatest difference and what areas maybe not so much.
Sure.
So that's kind of where I'm coming from.
So to answer your question about the aging population, this is actually a model that happened in Ventura County. We're an organization that works primarily through volunteers to keep aging population housed. So this is coming from homelessness prevention strategy. So they were approaching different groups and really throughout LA County to see who would be interested, and we raised our hand. There wasn't anyone else in Glendale who did, and so they were interested in working with us. So they are giving us some resources, and what happens is we're looking at folks who are at risk of losing their home. What would it take to keep them there? There are stories of women who almost lost her home because she couldn't do some plumbing repair. All she needed was $750 to do it. And that kept her in her home. So we are looking at those kind of solutions, and we're also looking at using volunteers to help out with anything that they need. So kind of looking at creative strategies to keep folks housed. So it is coming from that housing perspective. And health, of course, is, we would partner with healthcare providers to do it. It is, but housing and avoiding homelessness for women is something that we have been doing for 5 decades, and we feel fairly comfortable in that space.
Yeah, I'm glad I asked the question.
Yes.
I have a better understanding.
Thank you. But to that point, Commissioner, there are health needs assessments, there are community needs assessments that are published, and every hospital is actually doing the health assessments, and they're publishing for each communities. But I know also City of Glendale recently published a community needs assessment that could be very helpful. And I'm sure Glendale is an aging population, so if you look under housing, you'll find lots of great information. I think those are good resources to also look before launching the project, so you have just data to support your vision.
Yes, thank you. We actually got funded to do it in a very specific model, so it shouldn't be
Okay,
too hard, but.
very good. Well, Commissioner Lamblad. I was going to say Chair Lamblad. Yes, you were chair.
Former chair.
Yes.
Hi, Deborah. I have a few questions, but I'd like to say I'm just so impressed by the creativity that you have exhibited since you've taken over heading the Y. I mean, and for instance, the Safe Haven project with the fire station. You weren't at the last meeting here, but I mentioned that I was at a Seroptimus meeting after that event, and I made an announcement that this had happened, and the entire group just broke into applause. Like, it was so amazing, and kind of an obvious idea, but nobody else thought about. So I just, applaud you for what you've done and your ability to come up with these great ideas. A comment about the aging population. It's my understanding, I've read in numerous things, and I think it's in our, again, report on the status of women, that senior women that group is most likely to fall into poverty, and for a variety of reasons. Now, as far as the funding, my understanding was that you were asking for a total amount rather than coming to the commission for each event. Is that
Exactly.
accurate?
Yes.
All right. And I'd also like to say that I've been on and off the commission for 10 years. We haven't been able to do fundraising during that time. So we have taken from our bank account. I think it started out, I'm guessing 95,000. I don't remember clearly, but that's what I recall. And there have been years when we didn't fund anything. And my position is we can't do our job, essentially. We can't collaborate. We can't make a difference in certain circumstances if we don't do funding. So that amount has taken us through many years, and now we have the ability to do fundraising. So I am actually in favor of, I agree 10,000 is a big number, but I'm in favor of granting the Y some money. I mean, you're a very valuable partner and, an amazing asset to the community. Either a certain amount, maybe 3,000, maybe 5,000, or on a project basis. If you say this project is this much, this project is this much, but that would save you from coming in every meeting and asking for something.
Yes,
So that's-
there's an individual minimum single event sponsorship levels in the bottom. So if you decided we just want to do teen dating violence, the 5K run walk, or whatever it is that you decided, there are individual amounts. If you lump it all for a year sponsorship, you would be saving $3,000 because all of this combined would be.
And also, I'm interested in those activities with which we could specifically physically engage commission members and the students, boots on the ground.
Yeah.
So just looking at this, and I did look at this before the individual minimum single event sponsorships. Let me just say, from my viewpoint, I'd be in favor of supporting the teen dating violence program for $1,000. The Camp Rosie, of course, we've done that for many years, and it gets better every year from what I can tell from the girls, and that's $2,000. And the Week Without Violence outreach and engagement activities, and that's $1,000, at least at this point to start with. And again, the ability, one, to get our name out there so more people are aware of the commission, and two, having us actively engage, whether it's speak, whether it's, do outreach, whatever. But I think the collaboration is valuable and important. So I personally would be in favor of a $4,000 grant tonight.
Could I just add, would you be open to a Centennial Gala? If that's our 100th-year anniversary,
Yeah.
that would be another.
I would like to support the gala as well. That's a centennial gala. So I would add $1,000 on that. I mean,
And
but
I
at
don't
the
want to
same-
push my luck, but our Purple Tie Award, I was hoping this year to do it during our Women for Racial Justice breakfast in October. That way we would have a much larger audience to honor someone with a purple tie and launch a new initiative. And we can collaborate on what initiative we want to launch and figure out who we want to honor. But it would be great if that could be done with an audience of 400 people.
And that's in October, right?
That's in October.
So we have a little bit of time on this. I think what I like about the ones that I mentioned, it's just my opinion, of course, is that they're very project specific.
Yes.
And that's what I am focusing on.
Okay.
no, and we have sponsored those projects in the past as well. So I think
We've done Camp Rosie, yes, but the
Yes.
teen dating violence, we haven't, and the Week Without Violence, we haven't.
Yeah, but
I don't know if those are new
Purple
programs.
Tie we
but-
have, so, okay. I think if we're committing the $5,000, then we can kind of look at individual projects. And I also would like to partner with YWCA in fundraising events that would benefit both commissions. I mean,
Yes.
Yes, I think if we raise more, we can give more to, back to the community together. And I think we're more powerful if we bring both organizations in fundraising events together. We don't want to be out there just supporting what we, as you mentioned, we want to fundraise as well. And I think we'll have a bigger voice if we identify events or projects that could be, brought forward for fundraising.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Maybe we can make the 5K run walk a joint one.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is worth revisiting as far as like projects, and the year of 2026 would be a special, event. Events coming up, a vision for the centennial celebration that's very focused in fundraising, I think. That should be our big year of fundraising collaboratively.
Great.
I just want to make a clarification here. The 5,000 that you suggested is for 2026, correct?
Yes.
For all of 2026.
The breakfast?
Doesn't
The
prohibit you
breakfast is not included, I
from
guess.
coming back and asking for additional funds. This is what we're identifying now that we're comfortable with.
We will end up giving you $10,000 at the end at this rate.
But that adds another 1,000, the breakfast. Well, if we're going to do some fundraising and, support the commission, I'm okay with 6,000.
I am too. I mean, like I said, if we don't spend the money to further projects, then, it's just sitting there, and it sat there for many, many years. And I'm not saying we should spend it all, absolutely not. But, this is like less than 10% of what we have in the bank.
And I would love to figure out ways that we can collaborate to raise funds together.
Great
and
idea.
How we
yes.
can support you to raise funds as well.
I mean, it's a special year, the centennial. I think people will really pay attention to the big 100 years of great work and dedication that they want to be a part of. So hopefully.
And I'll
That's the
just throw
goal.
this out. I was part of an organization that was in its 80th year, so we had a campaign where we asked people to donate $80 in support of years. So I
love
could
it.
do that, donate $100, in support of the 100-year centennial. Just
That's
a
great.
thought.
Thank you.
And by the way, just one other thing, I would be interested in hearing how the commission members and the students could attend the domestic violence training that you gave to the fire department. I don't know if anybody's interested in the 40-hour one, but I think
That was a
would be really good.
30-minute
Yeah, okay.
training. I can do,
I think we had talked about that.
yeah, it's a 30-minute virtual training. I can do it in person, but I can also do a virtual.
Okay.
I mean, you mentioned about the purple tie being combined with the breakfast, but don't we do the purple tie at the fire station because it's a designated, facility? So to taking it to Pasadena breakfast, it may be a disconnect from what we started. To me, that needs to, but I agree that it's a bigger audience and it's more impactful. However, I think that we launched it this year, and to kind of stop it, it may not feel like a continuity to me.
Well, we've done it for several years. This was the first time we did it at the fire station.
Right,
Yeah.
and it was very meaningful, yeah.
Yeah, so, but I feel like that's a ways in the future, and there's still time to plan that. That's my feeling on it.
It really depends on who we're honoring too.
Yeah.
Like the reason why there were a lot of folks and it was so easy is because it was a fire station and they're used to hosting events, and he's so beloved. All these people came out. I'm not sure we can secure that kind of audience with the next person, but we'll have to talk about who we want to honor.
Okay, so do we want to make a motion? Is this,
Yes, I'll make a motion to approve $5,000 sponsorship of the YWCA of Glendale and Pasadena for the 100th anniversary year to be spent on the projects we identified, but at your discretion.
I second the motion.
Does
Is
that make
that
sense?
5 or 6?
It's 5.
6, did I say?
You said 5.
I meant 6, I apologize.
then do the
$6,000.
motion again?
Yes, I make the motion for $6,000 sponsorship of the YWCA for the 2026 centennial year. We've identified those projects we think are meaningful, at least I've mentioned some, but I don't think you're tied to that as far as spending the money. But you know that those are the ones I think that I know I'm interested in. I think that was too long a motion.
Staff captured it.
Okay.
Do we have a second?
Second.
I think not to roll calls.
Yes. Commissioner Lambelat,
Yes.
Vice Chair Aram, Chair Markarian.
Yes,
That motion passes with Khojayan and Samarjian absent.
thank you.
Thank you so much for your support and partnership over the years. Really appreciate your leadership. Thank
Looking
you.
forward to some fundraisings.
Yes. and
Thank
joint
you.
engagement.
Thank
Really
you.
excited.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Okay, now, item 7, hearing. No, all right. And reports, information. Is there any reports?
No, there isn't. Chair, we can go straight to item 9, Commission on the Status of Women comments.
Any comments, commissioners?
I just have a brief comment. Speaking of the YWCA, I attended the Makers Market and Wellness Fair on Saturday, and it was terrific. And so, Deborah, I hope that it was successful because it was a great idea. There were a number of local artisans and interesting things, and I thought it was a great idea, and there was much more than I expected to be there. So I thought it was a great idea. Hopefully you can do it more than annually.
We for sure have December 5th saved for next year.
Wonderful.
Deborah, if I can ask you to approach if you're going to speak. Thank you.
I was
So
just
we
gonna
have
say,
the microphone.
A lot of the vendors were survivors who were there selling. Yeah.
That makes it even more meaningful.
Thank you. Any comments? Thank you. I have a suggestion. I'm not sure if this should be offline, but I was hoping we can discuss at one point a subcommittee to the commission just formed of volunteers who want to help us with fundraisings. And the subcommittee could just be women in the community who are active and they're supporting great causes, and they may listen and hear what our vision is and how do we want to have increase our resources to give back to great causes and good projects for women and youth. If that could be, brought back as an action item and some criteria to have this volunteer group. And with that, I think this concludes our today's meeting. And I also would like to welcome again the ex officios, Leona and Emma. And I hope you enjoyed today. Looking forward to have you back next month, correct?
Yes,
With that-
Chair, we can adjourn
Thank you.
to
This
the
is an-
January meeting.
We adjourn the meeting at 5:54. Thank you, everyone.